Michael Freedman is an artist and founder of Crashcount.nyc. Michael demoed Crashcount.nyc, a public open data-driven tool that uses New York City open data and AI to document and contextualize traffic crashes involving pedestrians and cyclists, with the goal of supporting safer streets advocacy at the neighborhood and district level. He demonstrates how publicly available New York City datasets can be transformed into clear, actionable narratives that help communities understand where traffic violence is increasing and how it relates to policy decisions, street design, and enforcement. Check out his work, links in the description box below.
Hi, my name is David Ludwig, and I'm here with Crashcount.nyc.
And I'm Michael Freedman, and I'm here with Crashcount.nyc.
We have been working on the site over the past year, and Crashcount is essentially a tool for the public, advocates, and legislators to be able to advocate for safer streets in their neighborhoods and around the city.
So we have dashboards for every political district in New York. So we have council districts, we have assembly, we have senate, and our goal is to make it so that people can find out what's happening in their neighborhood. The other thing is you can look up any street, any school, any location in New York and see what's happened over the last 4 or 5 years in terms of traffic crashes. And our goal is basically to give people the information they need so that they can advocate for the streets that they need, that they want.
Exactly. So we use NYC Open Data as our main source. We use 4 different data sets that are mainly dealing with vehicle collisions. This is all pulled from the site and updated nightly, and then published at about 5 in the morning.
We also have political data. We have, whenever any votes come up that have to do with safety legislation, it gets tracked so you can see how your local representative has voted on these things. We have newspaper articles, so if there's an article about a crash, it gets fed in. So all of this comes together to give people a dashboard that they can use to understand their neighborhood.
We see this as a user-friendly one-stop shop to access data that already exists in the city and to make it presented in a user-friendly and easily readable way. And so with that, I guess we can take a second to go over the site a little bit.
So right here is the home page, and you basically, this is a good understanding of your options. You can see the full citywide dashboard, and this will tell you what's happened in the city. We're looking right now over the last 4 years, and it's pretty insane. There's been over 1,100 deaths in New York City in that time. We also have information on speeding. So this one person has been caught speeding 258 times in the last 12 months. And we're not doing anything to stop him. We're giving him $50 tickets. He keeps going. We also have the most dangerous school in New York. This is the school where the 5-block range around it is the most dangerous. So if you click on it, you can see what those 5 blocks look like. And the numbers are insane. There have been, if you scroll down a little bit, there have been 249 crashes just within this 5-block radius, 132 injuries, and 16 serious injuries right near this school. And if you wanted to know more, you could see there's about 61 right there. And you actually, for each of the crashes, we have a narrative. So sedan's driver's left foot turn, floor cyclist. A lot of times people see crash information and they're just numbers. We wanted to tell the actual story about what people are doing. So we're taking the public data and we're adding a narrative from it so that people can understand it. Serious web development, one of the things that I found really challenging was just about performance. So when you have something like this, people are used to Google, they're used to the web, where you can go and instantly find information. And there's a lot of data here. So we spent a good amount of time. We have our own internal database. We have building indexes, doing all the things so that everything is instant. When you look something up on the site, even though it's a very complex search, we get the information right away. The other thing that's really hard is just dealing with AI. I mean, AI is a really incredibly powerful tool, but it does tend to go in directions you don't want to. So if you don't know enough about coding, it'll make things that are not sustainable. So a lot of times we're taking what AI writes and having it rewrite them and change it and organize it in such a way that it's a sustainable product.
Another thing that's just difficult with data in general is like our data is only as good as the reporting. And so we need, it's not something that we can always 100% verify how good the reporting is, but as the city improves, our data gets better as well in terms of data reporting.
There is, one particular piece of data, if anybody from the city is watching, is I would like to have the license plate numbers of the people who were involved in accidents, so we could see if they're the same people who are speeding 250 times. So a lot of times we're finding holes in the data and things that are just, if somebody forgot to put in, that would be really useful in order to hold people accountable. One other thing that's kind of unique about the site is for every serious crash, we actually make a painting, and we do it through AI. I'm an artist, and what I do is I seeded AI with a number of my drawings, and I taught it how to draw like I do. And so this is one. If you go to another region, you'll see there's basically, each one of them is different. So as you explore the site, you get this visualization of what happened. And I think that this art can also make people more aware. Obviously I wasn't there, we weren't there, we just know there was a left turn and they hit a 40-year-old cyclist. But it's enough information that you can kind of sketch it, make a sense of it. I think that a lot of times people who are working with data, they remove themselves from the human story. Yeah. And one of the things that we really focus on is putting that humanity back into what happens. So yes, we do have the numbers, but if you go down to the injury dashboard, your carnage right there. So we do have the numbers, but we try to break it down to what actually happened. It's not that there were so many people injured. We had 2 injuries which involved amputations. 21 with severe bleeding. These are things that are happening, and that's one of the things we're trying to make clear. It's like these are not being brushed by a car. These are people whose lives are changed, and we want people to be aware of that. Why not change the speed limit to 20? That's one of our goals. We want to make it 20 citywide. We would like to have the super speeder bill so that people who get caught speeding more than 16 times have something put on their car so they can't speed again. We don't asking for that much, just make the streets a little safer.
In the talks that we've had together, we sort of see it like this, the traffic issues as like a slow-moving epidemic of violence. If people felt the way they do about the accidents that happen down the street from their home, the way they might about hearing about crime on the Signal app, for example, we might actually get some movement on legislation that would prevent injuries and save lives in the city. And then another thing that you told me when we were working on the art project was like, if you tried to make a drawing for every single person that was injured or involved in a crash in the city, it would take you, months and months and years. And so that's where the AI comes in a little bit to not only illustrate the brutality of some of these crashes, but also to show there's so many happening, you couldn't do it as an individual artist to pay tribute to each of these people that were injured or hurt in some kind of a crash.
Is there a way our viewers can support you or the project?
One way you could support the project is if you reach out, go to the website, put your address in, find out who your representatives are, and reach out to them and ask for safer streets. People don't realize how powerful a phone call is. They respond. And if you look at your street and you see that there are crashes and that it's dangerous, you reach out to them and have them change it.
The website is a new feature where you can add in your specific geographic regions. So based on your address, if you're living in the Bronx, for example, you can add that region. You get a notification when something happens in that geographic region.